Sex, porn, love addiction is all about self-soothing to manage your emotions. It got set up back in the childhood development years. It's just not about sex, it's not about porn. It's all about the repeated use has set up the physiology to crave those dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, self-manufactured drugs in the body. It's impacting women, men, children aged 10 to 75 across all the age ranges, the sexes, the cultures, the professions. It increased exponentially during COVID lockdown and impacting so many lives. The Kairos Center has created the first online comprehensive sex, porn, love addiction. It's a video on demand recovery program which you can access from anywhere in the world and begin to see identifiable changes just within 6 weeks of beginning this weekly program. Kairos means your appointed time. Isn't it your time to reclaim your life? Bring color back to life without shame. Click the link below and begin your journey. You owe it to yourself and to others. We often tell people whom we work with that no one escapes childhood unscathed. And this can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. As a general rule, however, it simply refers to the fact that everyone has some bumps and bruises along the way as we work towards becoming emotionally, physically, and spiritually healthy. Some individuals may have experienced severe emotional, physical, sexual, or spiritual trauma whilst in their early childhood development. We will have done, hopefully, some history taking so as to identify the childhood issues, the childhood traumas that have affected you. We know shame gets set up in childhood. Whether or not you go on to have sex addiction, porn addiction, love addiction issues, shame gets set up for most of us in childhood. And these factors can greatly contribute to an individual developing an addiction. Others may have experienced much less severe trauma, but may still have been severely impacted by those experiences. I often refer to trauma as not necessarily something that happens in a war zone, but can just be the 6-year-old little boy whose action man was stolen by the boy down the road, and when he went to the house to knock for it, the father of that boy opened the door and told the little junior standing at the door, "It's not yours, it's my son's, I bought it for him," and slams the door in his face. The little boy goes running off home, but the dad doesn't come and rescue and get back his action man. And 40 years later, the little boy is sharing that experience with me, a therapist in my office. It was impactful, it was trauma, even though it may be possible to laugh at that situation many years later. That was trauma. We know from research that even the less severe, impactful situations can go on to lead to chronic trauma, post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Another group of individuals may not have experienced abuse from a particular person. However, just the experience of living life with the stresses, even small levels of stresses, small levels of tension, can affect that individual's brain quite profoundly, so that they go on to develop shame, unhealthy shame. Unhealthy shame is also called toxic shame. No matter what the source of shame, all individuals must work through it if they are going to achieve the growth that they are capable of achieving. And this assignment, this homework, is there to facilitate, firstly, identifying and recognizing what is this thing called shame, and then the journey of working through shame. Shame is a really, really big component of sex, love, porn addiction. Please don't underestimate the size of this particular piece of work and its likely impact in your life. Remember, shame plus narcissism equals sex addiction. And so I would like you please to do this homework again. I will give you the document so you can see the homework for yourself. Let me just read what it is you will be doing. Question 1, identify at least 5 positive messages that you were sent as a child by caregivers, the people that looked after you. It could be a mum or dad, but it could also be if you were fostered, if you were adopted, those that looked after you. It could be teachers. It could be various other relatives that you lived with in your early developing years. Teachers, significant others, peer group members, leaders. So you're identifying at least 5 positive messages that you were given by those in authority, in a power situation, in a situation of significance in your life. Write down those 5 positive messages. Number 2, identify at least 5 negative messages that you were sent, that you were given, that you experienced as a child from those different individuals, caregivers, people in a place of influence, authority over you. Number 3, identify 3 significant shaming experiences from your life that have had a significant impact on you. Number 4, how have those experiences impacted you? Number 5, what impact have those experiences had on this addiction? In fact, on developing the addiction, on keeping the addiction in place. You're going to see these are going to be quite probing, quite challenging. You'll need to spend some time reflecting. Remember what I've always said? The hardest part of this work is what you do outside of the sessions, and it's called reflecting. Reflecting. Number 6, please describe how you have felt shame as a result of your addiction. Number 7, what have you done to try to cover your shame? Number 8, what do those experiences say about you? Number 9, how is your current level of shame presented to other people? In other words, what do others notice about you as a result of your shame? Difficult, probing, but actually really important that you see what you can do to find them, to locate them. Don't jump over this section. This is really going to help you to identify the role that shame has been playing in your life.